Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Lopez-Alvar and I'm the food editor of Miami New Times. I was born and raised in Miami and I attended the University of Miami and so did my parents. But my twin brother AJ, he did not go to college. You see, my twin brother AJ has autism spectrum disorder. And for those unfamiliar, the spectrum ranges from high functioning to low functioning. And my twin brother AJ falls on the low side of that spectrum. But that does not make him any less than. They always say, if you know someone with autism, you only know that one person because they are just so unique in every way. And that is exactly like my brother. I have so many memories of my brother growing up. One of my favorite memories of all time is when we were in preschool. We were so little, I was like 3 years old. A little kid ran up to my brother, and if you know autism or my brother, eye contact and any sort of touching is just not part of his playbook whatsoever. So I marched over there, like, hey, that's my brother. He doesn't like to be touched. You see, even at 3 years old, I knew my brother was special. But it hasn't always been easy. Actually, it just comes to mind right now, an amazing story. When I was in 5th grade, my parents took us to go see The Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it was my first Broadway musical ever. But just so, have you guys ever seen it? There's actually a moment when a chandelier is about to fall from the sky. And guess what? That's when my twin brother AJ decided it was his perfect moment to give out the biggest yell the audience had ever heard ever. You don't understand. I think the audience was in shock and even the stage, the performers were in shock. This is Broadway, Phantom of the Opera. Needless to say, my brother and my dad were escorted out of the building. That is just one of the many stories I have. But honestly, when I look back at those stories and I see those pictures on the screen, all I see is unconditional love. My parents took AJ anywhere and everywhere, to his favorite restaurants. We took him to Broadway shows. We always made sure he was seen and heard because AJ has a difficulty speaking. And in that same vein, I think that's what has inspired me to be here and standing before you today. You see, AJ has inspired me in so many ways that he will never know. My twin brother AJ is my biggest hero. Since he has a problem speaking, I feel like that is why I have been so inclined to be a storyteller. You see, I'm a journalist and I've always loved singing, dancing, and acting. And I always wondered why that is. And I know it's because I'm doing so in honor of AJ. Every day I want to make him proud and be a voice for him since he doesn't really have one. Another thing that he has really taught me how to do is to be actively looking for voices that are underrepresented. In Miami, I'm a food journalist. It's so easy for me to cover the hot new restaurant or whatever is trending on Instagram or TikTok. But really, it's the mom and pop deli that opened 50 years ago. Or it's that little Chinese spot down the street that you have passed 100 times on the way to work. These are the spots that deserve praise and a spotlight and a chance to shine. And I feel like AJ really has impacted me in that way. And I always want to make sure I amplify voices that deserve to be heard. When I look at AJ, I realize he's impacted not just me, but so many people. And once we learn that there's so much to learn from people who see the world differently than we do, it could really change your life. Thank you so much.